Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Johanna, and for those of you who are new here, welcome. And for those of you who are returning, welcome back. Here on my channel, I do planner and planner related videos, DIY tutorials, art and journal videos, and the occasional new release video of items that I've listed to my Etsy shop. And if that is of interest to you, please consider subscribing to my channel. And if you hit that little notification bell, you'll always be notified of when I load a new video. Commenting, liking, and sharing this on your favorite platform does help my channel grow and would be truly appreciated. Okay, so we're going to work on something a little different today. Now, for the past couple of months, since late March, I've been working out of a big academic happy planner, which is this right here, because as of late March, we transition to the majority of our workday at home. So I've been fortunate enough to be able to work from home for most of the week through the end of March, all of April, and through May. Now we are getting into the last week of May, and normally I would set up, because this is the week that we just finished, and normally I would be setting up this following week. However, as of June 1st, which is a Monday, I will be transitioning Mondays and Fridays in the office all day, and then Tuesday through Thursday here at home. And this system will not work because it works now. I don't have the desk space to have this out and write as I'm completing tasks, and the reason I set this planner up was specifically for that, because at the end of the week, every week, I need to submit a work plan to my manager on what I've completed and what I plan to complete the next week. Now, until we fully transition back to the office where we're there, our regular work week, if we are working any days at home, we still need to submit a weekly work plan. And the thought of writing things down in this little notebook and then coming after a long day, because I'd still have to leave probably around 5:30 or 6, because they have changed the bus schedule. I'd get home 5:30 or 6, maybe even a little bit later, and then writing things down in here, it isn't going to work, and I'm certainly not going to lug this around since I am a bus rider. This is just too much added bulk and weight. So what I thought I would test out to see if it worked was this being my predominant work planner. And the way that I would do it, it would be a little bit different how I'm doing right now. What I would be doing in the past was everything in the orange here was what I completed that day. This was the Zoom meeting notes for the day. And then whenever that stopped off, then I would start with my tasks completed. I would write any kind of notes that I needed to. And then this really wasn't meant to be cute. It was just super functional. Well, I do like the cute aspect, but I still need it to be super functional. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this into a somewhat of a bullet journal style work planner, but really it's going to capture the same things. I need to be able to track on a daily what I've completed. And this system works better than something like this, which is small and portable, but it's still bulky and I have to carry this. It works better than if I added an extra section in my Skinny Classic Happy Nietzsche, because I don't have enough room to have it just lay out even when I'm at work. Plus, I don't want loose sheets of paper just floating around in my desk. I am paperwork heavy, and so I don't want that to get lost and then I lose track of everything that I've completed. This works because at any given time, I've only got half open. So whether I'm working on the back of the page or the front of the page, this is the perfect size for me, and it doesn't get lost in the paperwork of my desk. So I'm going to be working in here. Now this video, I had thought about splitting up into 3 parts, but I'm just going to have it be a long video. I'll timestamp it below. I will be setting up for the last week of May in here. I will be doing a little bit of decoration on the front, and if you're interested, this will be the last part of the video. I'll show you how I made this little envelope here. This slides into, because this goes in my purse, I didn't want this to get damaged, and I figure if I make something like this, then it doesn't take a lot of room. It certainly doesn't make it heavier, yet it still protects the integrity of the little notebook. Even doing a traveler's notebook in the laminated fashion that I do would just be too heavy. This isn't going to be like what you see a regular, if you watch those kind of videos, a bullet journal where they've got the trackers and then this and then that. There will be a few trackers, but it's things I'm already tracking in my work planner. But it really is mainly functional with some decoration just to make me happy that I'm having to do this every single week. So I had thought about starting a new one. And I did order some dot grid of this size. This is an A5 size, and I'll link both this one and the dot grid one below. But I mean, this is what I have. This is what I'll use. I thought about starting a new one, but that doesn't make any sense because I have all of these pages here that I can finish. I don't know that I'm going to keep these for memory keeping. I was trying to think of what the word was. This here is the one that I had started with, and it's all full. It's not cute at all, but it definitely was functional. Depending on how decorative these get, I may want to keep them. Again, on one side, you know, looking at what you've done is good, but on the other hand, you've got to store it someplace, and that's really where it comes down to problems for me. So we'll do a quick setup, and quick is relative. Now I pulled out this Happy Mail that I had received from my friend Andy because I want to use the front part of the card, and then there's these really cute card die cut things she had sent me, so I want to include some of that as well, and I'm thinking that's what'll make this go by a little bit quickly. I pulled out some of these from my stash. These are little Korean stickers I had picked up, and they're really cute. I don't know what they say, but I do like them. So I have that. Andy had sent me these washi flakes, which look like that, so I pulled that out. And then by way of Happy Planner products, I pulled out Happy Hostess and Baby Boy, really because these were the first two that kind of caught my eye, and we'll see what we can do with these. So for this here, I know it doesn't make a lot of sense because I'm going into the last week of May, but I really wanted to have sort of a transition cover page, and this be my weekly spread. So I'm just going to do some quick decoration using these things here. And this was a little card that she had sent me. There's some writing in here. And so what I think I'll do is I'll cut this as well. And I'll put that right there. And I do have an assortment of washi that I just pulled out of my stash. And so I'm just going to washi this in, because I want to keep this because it is part of Happy Mail for me. So I don't want to permanently glue this in here, but I also don't want it slipping around. So I'll just do some strategic washi. Now these two right here were from the Teresa Collins. There was a third one, but I couldn't tell you what that was. Might have been this one. I don't know. But I'm gonna do some layering. And because I don't have to be neat with the washi, I mean, using washi just like little accents like this is perfectly my jam. When I when I feel the need to be perfect with it is when I typically mess up with it. But if it can just be sort of free form and just as an added decoration, then that works perfectly well for me. This I'm going to put on the front cover, so I'll move that to the side. Okay, I just saw this, so we're gonna use this. This is also some paper that she had sent me. And I just wanted to make it a little bit more, and I've always hated when people said it, but organic. And we'll do this. And again, well, this one I'm actually going to glue down, and more so because it might, because I don't need to keep every single thing that Andy sent me. I mean, I could, but I'm not. But I think it might make it a little bit easier to write on the other side, because this is actually really thin paper. It isn't like if you ever had a bullet journal, the Leuchtturm paper, the Archer and Olive, the Rhodia, any of those where it's a little bit heavier weight. It is nothing like that. I mean, it really is super thin paper. It works fine. But because I will be writing on the back of this, I do want to keep this stuff from moving, and if I put just the washi, that might be a thing. So I'll put this up at the top, and I like that it ties the two together. We'll do it like that. And I kind of want it touching. This says the exact same thing, so I don't necessarily want that in two places. So I think what we'll do is we'll put some of these washi flakes to bring some of that floral element. Although, I kind of like this. All right. So let's tear this. And I definitely want to keep as much as the width as I can. I think that looks cute. Again, it might make writing on the back absolute murder, but actually, let's see if we can be clever. Because it's cardboard, maybe we can separate these. Look at that, guys. It's super thin now, but that's all right. So let's put some glue. This is some Tombow Aqua, and the reason I'm using it is because it was right next to me. The other ones I'd have to go forage for. And it dries relatively quickly because it's a wet glue on paper. There will be a bit of buckling, but that doesn't bother me. And we'll put that down like that. And then I can go in, because the tip is so fine, and get these edges here. Although we'll put some washi on top of it just to be decorative. And we'll use some of this one here. And we'll use some of this one here. And the little black one says, "I am enough." I'll cut this one out just so that we get the entire phrase. Okay, and then for here and here, we'll actually just leave that for now. There's no rule that you have to fill up all of the space right now. I kind of wish I had torn those edges, but that'll be fine. And then for the actual weekly spread, I am going to be using some stickers. And I was actually leaning towards these right here. Because even though these are geared towards like a memory keeper for a baby boy, it's a sticker, and so I'm going to use it. I only work Monday through Fridays, and so I can write it that way, and I can write small enough, and I do have like my high-tech pen. I have both here and at my work, so that would definitely be enough space. I just don't know if I'd rather work like this or like that. Let's do like this. And the thing I think people prefer the dot grid paper over lined paper, because I know people prefer lined paper as well, is that the dot grid kind of recedes. So if you are doing any sort of decorative element in it, then it gives you guidelines, but it doesn't really pop in your face. When you're working with something like this, I mean, the lines can be a little intrusive. For me, again, I don't care. I really just need the paper. If need be, I can write additional next to it, so this still can be super functional. I didn't do this in the past because I got my decorative fix, if you want to call it, by working in the Big Happy Planner. Well, again, that's not going to be a thing. So let's see what we can do. And so this will be the 25th through the 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. 30, 31 is the weekend. The 1st I will be in the office full day. And I kind of want to mark a to-do list because I have things at home that I might need to bring back to the office. So we'll do 6 on the page. And again, I am really doing this for 2 reasons. One, I want to test it out. I actually don't need to do this for this upcoming week because I'm only working half a day on Tuesday. Monday's a holiday, the rest is at home. But I'd rather test it to see how it works now versus trying to figure it out once I'm actually back in the office. Okay, and then I'm going to use these, which I think actually nicely correspond, so that I can put the days at the top there. And if you do watch bullet journal videos, they generally are not very sticker heavy. They are usually doing a lot of free art. And I like that, and I might do that in the future, but I do want to use my product, and this seems to work just fine so far. And if some of the number peeks out, that's perfectly fine for me. And so let's write down the days. So Monday, which is 5/25, Tuesday, which is 5/26, Friday, 5/29, and then notes and to do. Okay, so we've got the functional down. Again, I can make it work by way of space regarding what I've actually completed, because on Friday, usually right before or after lunch, I jump into here and then, or my big happy planner, whatever I'm feeling, and then I will write down in a Word document what I've completed, and then I'll submit that to my supervisor. And we'll add some of these. And I like these washi flakes because there's a border, and so it just makes it easy to peel them off. Because some of the other washi flakes that I have, they are not that easy to take apart for that very reason. And I'm just going to stick a few here and there. Again, just in case I need some extra note space. I don't want to take up too much of the extra space, but this does tie it to the other pages that we did just a second ago. Okay, so again, just a few of those floral accents with that washi. And then here, maybe we can make this a little functional. Now, this was sent to me by my friend Valerie. Sometimes when I'm editing, I'm like, what's wrong with your mouth? I don't understand what you're saying. Maybe that's just me. Okay, so we'll do a top 3 right here. I don't know what that's going to be the top 3 of. This is for work, but you know, whatever. And, oh, I really like these. And the colors go. So we will do 3 little circles here. Okay. And then I do want to find something here. Maybe this has some quotes. But we're going to do this one. Give much, gather often, greet many. Okay, well, with these days, that's actually not really recommended, but it looks cute right there. And I just realized I track things. I track things during the work week. I track my water, and I track, and I also track what I'm eating. I don't need to, so I might just write that on the side here if I write that at all, because when I'm at work, I don't track that. I've just been tracking it because I've had the space and it makes it kind of fun for me. But yeah, I may have to rethink how I do this. And I'm glad we did this for next week, specifically because of that. Okay, I was thinking how I would track those things, and I think I'll just play it by ear Monday, see what happens, and then just finish out the week. It'll definitely give me a better tester. And then this actually will be full of Zoom notes because I do them every day because I send them to the team at the end of the workday. And so I don't even know when I'll be able to do the first week of June. Maybe this will all be Zoom, maybe only half, but I'm not going to set that up. So we're just going to set up this 1 week. For this front cover, because I will be looking at this for at least another week or two, I'm going to rip it so that you see the word hello. And if I had those, I do have some ink pads, but if I had this stuff that you can burnish this with, then I would certainly use that to cover up some of the white. But I actually think some of the white against the craft paper will look kind of sweet. And so that will be like that. Clean all this up. And again, I will want to keep this. So this one, I'm also going to, well, I'm going to do two things. I'm going to do that trick we learned when we were kids. At least that's when I learned it, where you just put the tape on itself. And because it's washi, in theory, I should be able to rip this back up. And I'll just do two. I just wanted to give it a little bit more adhesion, but I don't want to add glue. And so I'll do that right there in the middle. When I do the next booklet, and depending on how long we're doing this hybrid schedule where we can work both from home and from the office, that cover I might be a little bit more decorative, but for this one, I mean, again, I want it to be pretty. And we'll put some of this one. And I think the color is quite jarring against all of the lightness, and I kind of like that. And we'll have it go to the back. And I lost my beginning. I think that looks really sweet, and probably just clip this in place like that. And I actually like that. I think that works well. We'll see how functional this is. It'll be a good test week. This is actually holidays, so that's cool. And I think I will keep a few of these in here. And okay, so that, and then that's all of the stickers that I will keep with this, and I'll just put this in the back. And this will be the work week we're going into. And then let me clean this up, and then I'll show you really quickly on how to make that little pocket folder. Okay, so this started off as one of these, and I had picked this up from Target. It came in a 3-pack, and it's just a single, so it's not the accordion style. It literally only fits like one of these. There's no sections, there's no tabs, it's just one. Now when I had bought this, I had thought I could make a cover for my Happy Nietzsche, and then it wasn't until I got home that I realized, oh no, the ones that I've seen people post pictures on must have been the accordion style because it was thicker. You could actually use it for something that's thick like my Happy Nietzsche. And so these I've just been using as transportation when I had my Etsy shop open, I would put orders in here so that it wouldn't get damaged. And I do have one, the third one of the 3-pack, but because of this, I devised a way that I could use it. It helps me transport things. I'll make another one with you guys here on camera, but I think this is perfect. I don't need more than one book at a time. Even with the decorations, I believe it's going to fit, and I can transfer to and from, just because, again, part of the days I'll be working in the office, part of the days I will be working from home. So this really needs to be with me wherever I am. And it's actually really simple. I didn't do a lot of measuring because that's just not what I do, but I laid this down so that it was somewhat centered on either side, and to account for the width, because it can get a little bit bulky, I'm actually going to go a little farther out than what you think. Again, depending on what notebook you are using, this is an A5 size. If you're using a B6, a personal, then you'll just want to measure it around that. But yeah, that I think will be perfect for me for the width of it. And I will get my cutter. And I know it works because that's how I did the other one. And I'm going to switch this because this is a fairly new blade, and I will put a dull blade on here, which will work perfectly well for this. I will line that little mark up as best as I can, making sure that it's straight. And then I'm just going to slice through, and it slices rather nicely. And then I'll do the same here, where that line I will put on the cutting line as best as I can. Squish this down. Oh no, I want to make sure that's straight. Okay, and then cut through, and one pass cuts it through. The reason why I switched to the dull blade is because cutting through laminate, cutting through plastic, cutting through things like this really dulls your blade, and so when you go back to cutting paper, it can actually shred it. And then for this here, I will do the same thing, and I will use it as a guide, make it a little bit bigger than you would think because I want to account for some of the bulk. And make sure it's lined up straight at the top, just because I want this to be as straight as possible. Now you don't have to use a cutter like this, but I am horrible at cutting things straight, and so this just helps me. And then there's a little piece left over. I might keep it, I might not. I don't know what I would use it for, although I suppose I could cut it in half and punch it as like a dashboard in the Happy Nietzsche or the Skinny Mini. So yeah, this seems a little bit too much to waste. Now, obviously it's open. We've cut off all the things, but the way that I did this was I kept the button on. No, you won't be able to. For this first part, and it's going to be the most fiddly, get some clips, paper clips, these binder clips, whatever, but really you want to affix it in 2 spots. Because it's plastic, it's a bit slippery and it's going to move on you. So you want to clip it down, then you want to get the washi of your choice. And I'm just using this because it was there. And it is a little fiddly because you need to do it with the flap open. And I wouldn't go all the way to the top. That should be sufficient right there. And cut this, and you're doing the washi half on this and then half on your surface. Make sure that your surface isn't paper or it may not come back up, and then just fold it over carefully to the back. Now this is not the only thing that's going to hold it together, it's the decorative element. And then do that for all 3 sides, And again, because we have this fixed, these other ones might necessarily not move, but just to be on the safe side. And again, with your washi. And you didn't need to actually do this part with washi, because when I show you the next step, you could just go from that step. I just like that it adds a decorative element. And you can go as crazy with this as you want. And to me, this really takes the traveler's notebook aspect into play. If you are only going to do just the one notebook, if you are going to do the traveler's notebook, which typically has between 2 and sometimes 6 inserts, then this isn't going to work. You're not going to get enough room for bulk in here. But if you're like me and you're only carrying one at a time, then I think this is a great idea to be able to keep it protected, which is the whole thing of why people do use traveler's notebooks. And still have something cute. Okay. And then again, put that to the back. And if there's any hanging over, just cut them off. And that keeps it closed, but it is paper tape, and so it isn't super durable. So I actually go over it with just some clear tape, with the same trick of half on and then folding it over. And then you get the decorative element of your washi of your choice with all the functional durability of something that's a little bit stronger. And again, you could just do it just straight with this and not do the washi tip. I definitely, if you're going to do the layering, I would definitely put the washi first and then this, because this protects both your washi tape as well as make it more secure. I wouldn't put the clear plastic tape or the clear tape and then put the washi. But that's just me. You might want to test it out and see how it works for you. And then another piece on this side. And then it still closes. And I'm actually going to leave this one like this. This one I had added some extra washi, and I think it's cute. I think this way is cute too. If you weren't going to do this traveler's notebook in here, this would also be a great little portable pouch for stickers. So if you have tons of Etsy shop stickers that you've purchased, I think this would be a great way to create a quick folder. I think the 3 of these were less than $5. It's been a minute, probably for many of you as well, that I've been able to browse in a store. So I couldn't tell you. I did order some clear ones from Amazon, so I'm thinking about putting some kits together, cutting some of these down, because I did pick up the big size, and putting some kits with some blank notebooks and some ephemera and some washi samples and putting them back in my Etsy shop if I ever reopen. But yeah, this is how I'm going to do my work planner. I will be testing this out for the week of the 25th through the 29th. Next week, during the weekend, I will recap how this went, what worked, what didn't, and we will go from there. All right, guys, like I said, long video, but I'm hoping you guys find some value in this. Let me know in the comments below if you guys are also transitioning back to work and what your transition plan is looking like. I'd love to know in the comments below. All right, guys, that's it for me for now. And as always, aloha.